at the park inside the estate. So that I can also be going back and forth. But once I get more
of they changing the polling units?
I'll get this polling report.
Oh, Oseni, I cannot wait to get a feedback. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your morning. Yeah.
Changing the location.
Yeah.
If the polling unit is inside the estates, they should vote at the polling unit. They should not change the.
But are you saying the umpire, the referee, cannot change the rule in the course of the game?
No, you
I
shouldn't.
don't think so. I've not checked the electoral act to that effect, but the polling units are designated.
Yeah,
okay.
So you don't shift it on election.
Yes, I mean it's even safer in an estate than to take it outside. So why do you want to take it outside? What are the reasons? We need to hear more from him.
He says he would get back to us.
Yeah, the thing about voting and youngsters playing games.
All right, Tochukwu, let's go to Apapa. There's an Ikechukwu waiting. Ikechukwu, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, what can you report to us, Ikechukwu?
I want to ask this question. Please, why is it that in Nigeria, law is only bound on the poor people?
No, ask the question.
The rich people, whatever they want, and they get away with it. But in America, I remember...
No, hold on. Before you take me to America, why are you asking this question?
Are you at the polling unit?
Are you at the polling station?
I want to know because...
Are you at the polling station? That's what I'm asking. Are you at the polling station?
Whether I'm at the polling station.
Are you at the polling station? Are you going out to vote now or polling?
Yes, I am on my way.
You are not there.
I'm on my way going.
When you get there, ask me the question again, and so we will understand if it will determine if it is relevant. Thank you.
I said, why is it that in Nigeria...
Please, when you get to the polling station, don't take me... If you come from that tangent, come from that tangent, you will lose me. Get to the polling station and repeat the question. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, 0700 903 903 903. Just what I said earlier on. The biases should give way to what is real. What can you really report? Not asking why.
I think they should be told that the objective of this call is they should report what is going on in their location.
Just report what you can see. Don't ask me questions I cannot answer.
There are programs for that. I mean,
where
you can ask those legal questions.
So, but typically in Nigeria, the substance is there. You waive it, and you decide to bring your biases there. Why are we making two laws?
Well, so sometimes
the radio and TV station don't make laws; they report news. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it needs training or discipline to separate biases from facts. Sometimes they get so mixed up. So trained journalists will be frowning at that, but many laymen can't even tell the difference. They mix the two up. Yes. So the youths playing on the road, on the street, playing football. The thing is that the youths are more, as much as they are victims and as much as they are villains, they are both victims and villains because youths are guided by their parents. So invariably is the way they were brought up. We're talking about the golden years of the 20s and 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
When the white man not only laid the foundation, but was there. I was told about my grandfather's exquisite handwriting and his wonderful prose when he wrote, especially in Igbo. My grandfather, he wrote so well, especially when he wrote in Igbo.
Sorry, let's take a call from Iyanokwaja. Onyeka is the name. Onyeka, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Are you on your way to, or are you at the polling station already?
Okay, I've been to my polling unit and INEC, they have not come, although I have seen the other polling booth, they have started voting, but my particular INEC officials have not yet been there.
Okay, well, nobody is telling you anything.
What they are saying that we should wait, they will come.
Make you wait. You know, it will call for a lot of waiting because you have a reason for going out to vote. So wait for it. If there's any development, let us know.
What polling unit is that?
Yanokwaja. Am I right? Okay. 0700 903 903 903. Yeah, Tochukwu, let's get to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
16 candidates contesting the elections here. They include the APC, the PDP, the Labour, the SDP, and so on and so on. Only the ABGA and PRP are missing. Expectedly?
Naturally.
Okay.
Weak in Lagos, so possibly they couldn't feel they couldn't feel their candidate. But I want to go back to the youth issue,
the
youth question. The white man laid the foundation, set it running. My grandfather could write, and especially
I'm sorry, the caller is there, the listener is there, the viewer is here. Christian from Idiarova is here. Good morning, Christian. How do you do?
I'm good. Good morning. How are you doing?
We are okay. Thank you for asking. Now, Christian, are you at the polling station or on the way there?
Actually, my company is polling station.
Okay. Tell us something. Please, call us again. 0700 903 903 903. Tochukwu, you will bear with the viewer, the listener.
No problem. Yeah. So I can continue.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So, but my grandfather could write very well in Igbo. He may have spent 4, 5, 6, 7 years, or much less. So 4, 5 years in the primary school, came out, could write.
Did he hand the writing technique to your dad?
I don't think so.
So apparently your writing is not as good as your grandfather's.
I couldn't compare. I don't know how he did, but the thing is that most Igbos from my generation up can barely write Igbo. So you see, the standards have been falling. So.
All right. Joseph from Surulere is reaching us. Joseph, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Are you on your way to the polling station? Are you there already?
I voted already.
Oh, you voted?
Yeah, I voted.
Tell us about it.
I voted at Bele Primary School.
Okay. What happened or what didn't happen?
Yeah, it's going on. No problem. But there's a lot of vote buying and all that. Yeah. Some people...
Were you paid for your vote? Were you paid for your vote?
To show their voting paper who they voted for. You know? But I refused. I voted and called my lieutenant. Let it come out. Then opposite my house, along the Shagado, close to me.
All right.
Some people were denied the right to vote, that they must show them who they voted for.
Who are these they?
They did not vote at all.
Okay.
They left.
Thank you. Thank you very kindly.
This is criminal and should be severely.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Yeah. So
it's a horrible situation.
The problems are man-made.
Man-made. Yeah.
Man-made.
Attitudinal.
The
lack of respect for the rules of law.
Are here again.
Yeah. Ofeli, but know that vote buying is everywhere in the whole world. But then ours appears to be the leveler.
No, if we endorse,
vote buying takes different shapes. No, Ofeli. Vote buying takes different shapes. A politician who goes to a department store and asks you to take something on him is buying something from you.
He didn't say vote for me.
No.
That was a gift.
You see, what the Electoral Act condemns is when you give gratification to influence people's choice. This one is even brazen. This one is even much more criminal, where they are the polling units. Because that's what the reporter just said now.
Yeah.
They are the polling unit. They give you money. They follow you to find out who you are voting for, because there are no security to protect the situation and all that. This is brazen. It is wrong.
Ofeli, we'll get back there. Obi is reaching us from Mafuluku. Obi, good morning to you. Hello, Obi. Are you there?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. God bless you, people.
Are you at the polling unit, or are you going there?
I just left there now. I was there 10 minutes after 8.
Okay.
There was a lot of threats.
A lot of what?
All those Alaye and Ambrose were disturbing. If you know you're not the Yoruba man, you should go. Here no be on nature. So when I look at the crowd, I managedly went out and go and eat. When I reach it, I come back. One of the INEC officers there said I can vote because one of them is Igbo. So he now said I can vote and go. Immediately I voted and left the place. And one of them was monitoring me, wanting me to make sure I vote to APC. As I was trying to be accredited, he was calling on his voice saying, "Come on." Because immediately they were threatening me, say, this my face. It's like I don't know it. It's like I don't love my children. But that time is this place now. When I look at the crowd, it's more than me. I went out and sluggishly come back and vote.
Security men are there.
And the painful part of this, the security officers there, they cannot even call police or call any other all these security agents to come and monitor what is happening there.
Are there security agents around you?
Huh?
Are there security agents around
one
there?
One elderly woman putting on police uniform.
No. Hold on. She is not one elderly woman putting on a police uniform. She is either a police woman or she's not.
She's a police woman and one man, civil defense.
What's the polling unit again?
015 unit.
Okay.
We can precisely.
All right. Mafoluku.
Mafoluku, yeah. Keystone Bank stroke Global Bank.
Don't advertise any bank here. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Tochuko, how do we deal with that?
It's hard to deal with because the Lagos state government, Lagos state power is it, the cabal that controls Lagos state, over the years, over decades, build up these thugs. They kept them and got them busy, make sure they made money, make sure they were well fed, smoked whatever they wanted to smoke, drank whatever they wanted to drink, because they know they will always need them.
Be useful to them.
They're used to at a point like this. So is the private army...
And let Ofeli know that these are not old men and old women.
No, these are the youths. But there are youths and there are youths. These are youths that can be manipulated by the political class. So the political class is using these thugs for what they have trained them. Is their private army. So this is expected. But my concern is this.
Yeah.
As we drove to the studio today, we were stopped by the police at many checkpoints. Where are these security men and women?
I have a question there. Samuel is reaching us from Badagry. Samuel, good morning to you.
Good morning. God bless you.
Bless you too. Have you voted or are you going to vote?
I voted, but there was no some.
Hello, are you there? We lost the contact to him. All right, Chika is reaching us from a polling station. Where? Chika, good morning to you. Hello, Chika, are you there? Yeah, okay.
So supposedly the streets of Lagos are replete with security agents. as policemen, soldiers, civil defense. You see them everywhere, very visible. But when at these polling stations where the thugs cause trouble, disrupt the process, you don't see them anymore. So then we are tempted to ask, are they compromised? Our security agents compromised?
Okay, the Chika we attempted to establish contact with there just now is here. Chika, good morning to you. Hello, Chika, are you there? We seem to be having attacks from network and all that. Okay.
Yeah, because the activities of these thugs are visible, not just visible, they are conspicuous.
Yeah.
Okay, and the security agents can deal with the situation if they choose to. So we have a question for the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State. Why are you allowing this to happen? Are you a member of a given political party in the state, or have you been compromised?
We should
all right, except that
we should equally add.
hold on. Mine is this talk about APC, LP, PDP, POP, and BBC should not be part of. Report what is going on. We're living in very interesting times.
Yes.
Because reportage is affected by politics. It must so you must tie a particular group in your brush. Chika, are you there?
Yes, can you hear you? I can hear you very well.
Yeah, Chika, good morning. You sound very bright. Have you voted? Are you going to vote?
Yes, I will vote, but not now, later.
Where are you exactly? Where exactly are you at?
Okay, right now I'm at polling unit 060, Ilaje Road, Bariga.
All right, what can you tell me? What can you tell us?
Yes, from what I'm seeing here, there is people didn't come out much to vote, unlike the day of the presidential election. Even other polling unit that I visited this morning, if you look down there, that's another polling unit. Even up there too, another polling unit. But there's one thing I've noticed: people didn't come out en masse, unlike the way they did during the presidential election. That's the only thing I've noticed here. If you can see some of the INEC officials, some people have come, they voted and they've gone, like not much people. The crowd is not much, unlike the presidential election. That's the only thing I've noticed.
It's about 12 minutes to 10. So when do you think you are voting yourself?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's about 12 minutes to 10. When do you think you are voting, casting your ballot?
Okay, around 12, I will go and cast my vote.
All right. Wish you well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You talked about labeling political parties. Is it possible to report on what is happening and not mention the party involved? I am not a trained journalist. I'm not a trained broadcaster, so I'm asking a question because I want to learn.
The journalist or broadcaster, if you like, his business is to help mold opinion. So you keep certain things away because you are spoiling the soup.
So you say one political party, you don't mention their name.
You may not.
But that is not complete information.
You may not. You may not.
It's not complete information. A man is like saying...
Tochukwu, it is said, if you want to throw stones at every dog that barks at you, you won't get to where you're going. So when you set out to go, when you set out for an election duty, as a journalist, they say you use daggers, but you kill nobody.
But is it okay to report the truth?
Yeah, relative. And we live in a relative environment.
The reporter told us that people are saying you must vote this party or go home.
He is not a reporter, he is a voter.
Okay.
No,
But is it possible?
Yeah. But don't untrained reporter. But you know, it is going to fuel some more bad blood animosity. It's natural.
But can you stop people from voting their choice? Force people to vote against their choice and not fuel animosity?
It begs the question of what is the business of the security people there? But I hear I must take somebody from Badagry. Good morning to you, Badagry.
Good morning. God bless you.
Badagry is not your name, but what's your real name, sir?
I voted during this age.
Samuel, you have voted?
I voted already.
What can you tell me about
it? But there was no fingerprint.
There was no what?
We did not complete with not complete. I don't know whether it is another kind of bleeding.
Another kind of what?
What did you do? Say you not thumbprint.
Samuel, what you didn't thumbprint. How did you know you voted?
I went there, they took my BBC, then they snapped my picture, and then I marked my index finger. And then give me the voting material to go and vote.
And what did you do? From that point, what did you do?
I just voted and put it in the box. They didn't complete anything.
But you use your thumb.
Yes?
You use your thumb. You pressed you marked your finger with the ink, right?
Yes, I marked it.
So you voted. So don't tell me you didn't thumbprint, please.
There's no thumbprinting.
What does that mean?
I want to understand Samuel, you know, you are educating me. It's a two-way street. You go to the polling booth and your thumb is marked with an ink.
Yes.
You go from the thumb, from marking your thumb to depressing
an ink pad.
Of your choice. But you thumb printed. That's voting.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
Good.
I don't think you understand, so, and I don't think
No, the man has voted, but he is confusing everything with thumb printing.
That's the thumbprint, or maybe he
does not know.
He voted, but wasn't aware.
But we are able to read through it.
See, he sleepwalked through the voting process.
No,
that's why he voted.
His thumb was duly marked, and he depressed.
But you depress and vote before your thumb gets marked.
So again, education. You know, voter education.
Thumb getting marked means I have
Tochukwu address voter education. Very important here.
Oh yes, that's very well. It's comparable to the issue with this changing of currency, and even the what is this disease? Everywhere was locked down.
COVID.
COVID. Initially, the attempt at education was very poor, and it was shrouded in secrecy.
Sorry. We must go to another caller. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Your name and where you are at. Where are you at now?
Okay, I'm calling from Estella. My name is Estella.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Where are you at? Can you report your location?
I said I'm calling from Isolo.
Isolo. Have you voted?
The question you should ask me is, have like officials come? We have not seen anybody.
It's the same thing now.
You not come to any of them.
You tell me I have not voted because INEC officials have not come. Is anybody talking to you there?
Nobody is talking to you.
You have not asked questions, no official, nobody is there at all.
No, there are people are waiting to vote, but we've not seen the officials.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you.
It's so similar to what happened in the previous, the presidential election. INEC officials showing up at 12 noon, 2 p.m., and in some cases not showing up at all. And you were talking about voters' education. I've not seen much of voters' education coming from INEC. I've seen political parties.
And they have a directorate for that.
I've seen political parties trying to educate their members on how to vote. Even I was coming out of a business center, and one lady saw me. I think she realized that she has seen me before, and she asked me a few questions. I felt that but she wanted to educate me on how to vote.
All right, Tochu, let's quickly jet to Ilasa. Abayomi is waiting.
Yes.
Abayomi, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Are you
How
going?
are you?
I'm fine.
There is a problem in my area.
There's a what?
That is Ilasa.
You said there's something in my area.
Okay.
What problem?
Okomala. From court, they enter the area, start everywhere. Even they shoot some people, bottle.
As we speak? You mean as you are talking to me, some people have been attacked with bottles and so on?
Hello?
Abayomi,
I'm with you. Yes?
Yeah, you said call to war or something.
There is riot. They must riot because some people they don't enter into our area. Okomala.
Okomala, why?
Okomala Ilasa.
At Ilasa, why is it so?
We don't know. We don't know what is really happening.
But you said some people had been attacked with the bottle.
The security there.
Yes. Even they shoot somebody.
No security people?
You said?
No security people there.
They are the security opposite where this thing happened. They are drinking beer.
Oh boy. But so no voting is taking place there?
Nothing like that yet. Nothing like that.
I'm wondering. Thank you, Abayomi. Thank you.
Okay, I'm one of your callers. I'm one of your fans.
Okay, sir.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. But Ofeli, the electoral umpire had said anywhere such a thing is recorded, any vote or votes from there will be cancelled.
Yes, that's the electoral.
But have they made good on their words?
So many.
It is. There were similar acts in the presidential election. Why they were not all cancelled? Even here in Lagos.
No. It cancelled in some places.
It's cancelled, but those other ones will be proven in court. The ones that are not cancelled, once there's sufficient evidence to that effect. But to speak to this, you see, the issue right now is people do not really want a change. From what I'm gathering now,
yes.
They say there's an outbreak of cultists, right?
Yeah.
And then they are there fomenting trouble. They have shot somebody, according to him. These are issues. The politicians should save this country from this bleeding.
Yeah, Ofeli, sorry. We must jet to Surulere now. Christopher is waiting. Chris, good morning to you. Christopher, are we in business? Hello, Christopher. How are you?
Hello?
No. Yeah, Christopher, are you there? Hello, Christopher. Can you hear me? Okay.
I don't think he's there.
Yeah.
Now, people will not go to polling unit on their own volition to cause problem. They have been paid to do so. That is what the narrative is here. And they get there, it's either they are suppressing, there's voter suppression, or they are asking people to vote in a particular way, or they are giving outright gratification to influence people's...
Tochuku, but
all these are condemned.
But do you know, these things like this will give rise to a conspiracy theory. You know, a particular party that's not strong at a particular place will foment trouble just so no vote is cast there and so on. But if you are popular, Tochukwu, you don't need to pay anybody to cause any trouble.
No, you
allow your popularity to carry you through.
Yeah, you make trouble in the areas where you're weak, where your opponent is stronger, so you disrupt.
Oh, must you make trouble there?
No, you shouldn't make trouble there.
Anywhere.
The thing is that you shouldn't make trouble anywhere. But what is the consequences of making trouble? When people don't get punished for an offense, you arrest a thug, or the thug you arrested, you know, like Ophelia writes this to that. Nobody leaves his house to go make trouble unless he's induced, unless he's paid, unless he's directed, okay? So what of the man...
He is poor and crazy.
Yeah, well, crazy. Poor and crazy, but we'll do it for an incentive. You must give him something.
So there's a crazy element there.
There's an incentive. You don't just get crazy and go carry the ballot box and start running away, because it serves you no purpose.
Yeah.
So somebody must have paid you to do it. And who are these people paying thugs to be disruptive, to be violent, to shoot and to kill? Those are the people that should be dealt with. But when they continue to do the same thing over and over the years and don't get punished, then when there's no consequences, no accountability, the system remains the way it is.
We all live in an environment of conspiracy theorists. And the theories are here.
Yeah.
So it begs the question of, if electoral violators are not punished because the laws are there,
yes,
could you not conclude that there is a conspiracy of thoughts or of sorts there?
To conclude, I'm not concluding. I know that there are conspiracies. Yes, political parties are at work. The powers that be, the political class, are at work. They want to retain and reinforce the status quo. But there's a need to change the status quo. Nigerians are sick and tired of this status quo, the political status quo in Nigeria, dominated by an oligarchy that has not been sensitive to the good of Nigerians, that does not respect the law, that encourages this inordinate wealth of the few at the economic strangulation of the rest of Nigerians. Nigerians want to change the status quo, get something happening new, set Nigeria, set Lagos State on a new trajectory. But the powers that be will naturally resist this attempt at change, and that is what is happening.
All right. Philly, he says Nigerians are tired, except these set of Nigerians who are paid to foment trouble.
And those who paid them. Because those who are empowering them to carry out maximum damage on a day of election like this.
Yeah, sorry, we have a call again from Mafoluku. Obi, good morning again.
Yeah, my brother, God bless you all.
Yeah, I hear there's a development.
Yes, I was one I called before. Please, Mafuluku really need attention. He needs security attention.
Okay.
You understand? Please, all the polling units in Mafuluku need attention. It pains me that those security agents that just running around the road, the highway, airport road, no one is even trying to slow down. Within those polling units where the able are terrorizing. You understand? Please, people that are concerned or people that matter, let them send securities in those areas. It really needs attention, as well as what is it called? Ajaway State.
Okay.
I came all the way from go and vote for that place. On my way going now, I saw how the security people are securing things in Ajaway State. Within that Okada Park. Other areas are safe.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Uche.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah. So we are not in a hurry to want to change anything.
We are in a hurry, but the entrenched powers, those that benefit from the chaos, those that benefit from the unjust system, the unprincipled distribution of wealth or resources in Nigeria, want the system to remain the way it is.
Ofeli, but insanity, according to Albert Einstein, is doing the same thing all over again and expecting different results.
Yeah, we are shooting ourselves. It starts from the family front. I mean, those who have been influenced by politicians to go and commit offense should know that these politicians, their children are abroad, or their children are in good schools, are heading big companies and making productive life for themselves and their offsprings. But here are the politicians getting these youths, putting them together willingly, and they yield to it. They give them, maybe they give them 5,000 or 10,000 to go and ferment trouble.
All right, sorry. I'm sorry, Feli. Onyebuchi, I hear, is calling us back from Idimo. Good morning again.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. What can you tell us again?
The last time I called, I was at Ikoti when I called earlier.
Okay, then.
So presently, I'm at Idimo, trying to connect the Egbeda access.
Are you going there? Sorry, are you going there?
One other thing I noticed is that from Ikoti to Idimo, the retail shops, a lot of them opened, within the street.
The retail shops, sorry, the retail, hold on, the retail shops, the shops are open?
Yeah, some of the retail shops are open.
To business?
Within the street. Yeah, they are doing their normal business. Then secondly...
What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Like I said earlier, it's some kind of a voter apathy. A lot of people are just hanging around, watching from afar. Some are not getting to the polling unit. And most of the polling units that are passed so far are very scanty. Some of them, the INEC officials are just sitting. Nobody to attend to.
Okay.
Then while in some other polling units, you have some people also, casting their votes. But then on the issue of the security personnel, you have one police official to a polling unit so far. That's what I've noticed. Then on the major roads, like when you get to Council Junction, Idimo Junction, and then before you get to College bus stop, we have some military personnel on the road. Basically, you have the civil defense stationed at the road, to stop and check vehicles. The military personnel are hovering around.
Yeah, are you yourself, are you going on foot?
Yes, I'm actually walking.
Okay. It's safe to walk? The security is not challenging you?
People are moving. There's serious movement. There's massive movement in this environment.
Massive? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, movement of voters?
No. Well, both voters and those who are, just going about their own normal business.
Wow.
Some are just,
that's interesting.
Moving about.
Interesting.
And then you have some doing their normal business as well. So, but movement, there is movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there should have been no movement. That's what the IG told us. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
If there's anything new, don't hesitate to call us again. Thank you. Tochukwu, this is crazy to bring in at this time. The late Adolf Hitler said, to conquer a nation, you must first disarm its citizens.
Yeah, mentally, attitudinally, emotionally. Yes,
disarm.
It's in the mind. Yes.
Yes.
If you disarm people, their minds, of course, you've conquered them. So, and you see this sense of resignation, this sense of apathy, this sense of defeat. Yeah. So, many Nigerians feel defeated. So I don't know where that leads to. That generally leads to the, I keep calling it the reinforcement of the status quo. The same system that held us in the throes of poverty, agony, homelessness, suffering and misery.
Yeah, Chuku, sorry, let me stop you. We have a Ken reaching and reporting from Amuwa Odofin.
Okay.
Ken,
Yes,
good morning to you.
yes. Good morning.
Yeah, what can you tell me?
We are at prayer estate here, Namu Odofin. And up till now, as I'm talking to you, no officials, no INEC officials, no material, no nothing. We have been here since morning.
And
Even
this is...
we started taking numbers to make it much more orderly.
Yeah.
100 and something now, nobody has come.
Yeah, and this is about 11, 12 minutes past 10.
Yes, and our locality, we're very close to INEC office. It's under 15 minutes. You are in the office.
Is anybody telling you anything?
Nothing.
Nobody's there.
Let me find out from. Hello, ma, did you call them? Did you call the INEC people? Okay, now we have called the INEC people, and what did they say? Okay, now they say they are here, they are close. They are close to our area.
Okay, so we do some waiting.
Sorry?
We wait a little, right?
Yes, they say that they are very close. Maybe where they say they are, the road is very, very bad. So under 5 minutes, they should be here.
Ken, you know, you are a reporter there. As soon as they get here,
very,
let
very
us
available.
know. Thank you very kindly. Ofeli, Nigerians are willing, but the spirit is weak.
Yes, Nigerians are willing, but I'm surprised that INEC have not really, amend their ways.
Because at this point, it is not the devil at work.
Yeah, is this election an afterthought to INEC? Because, I mean, we had 3 years to prepare for this. You had a budget of 305 billion naira, which, was given willingly to them so that they will have a good election. But it appears the logistics are so bad. I mean, they have not been able to put up a formidable logistic plan to make sure that they get to the polling units early enough. Like I wrote in the Vanguard yesterday, INEC need to be diligent. There's no way, you see, the election will start to soil the process by late coming. Because this late coming now will mean that they will have to vote tonight. The reporter who just spoke now said they are taking number now. They are already up to 100 and something. This is past 10. INEC will get there. They will take maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour to set up. After this, they will commence voting. And before you know it, you spill over.
Sorry, Philly. We are getting the first call outside of Lagos. This is in Faraway, Osun State. Good morning, Adeola. Adeola, are you there? Can you hear me? Nelson? Okay, we lost the contact to him. So it would have been interesting to get to hear what's happening outside of Lagos. Yeah. Okay. 0700 903 903 903. Back in Lagos, Emenike is reaching us from Isolo. Good morning, Emenike. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, what can you tell me, Emenike?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm reporting a situation at the Isolo.
Go on.
Yeah, this is very, very unfair what Yoruba people are doing. I'm specific what APC is doing.
Okay, please. Report. Please, hold on, Emenike. Hold on, Emenike, please. I don't think you are not helping us by saying APC, Yoruba, Igbo, and all that. Just report what we are saying without mentioning anybody.
We are saying he has to go back, bring out his phone, manage to record what is happening. they beat him up. Like, if you see the way they beat him up, yeah? Well, where are Ilasa police station? Where are Isolo police station? Where is Agor police headquarters? Yeah? All these people are around, they hear what, they know what is happening, and they keep quiet. What is Nigeria going into? Yeah?
Thank you, Emenike.
Look at the way they wound our brother.
Emenike, many thanks. Many thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But Jones, if I may say something, I mean, the average man has not gone through broadcasting 101.
No. We can't start this education here. But I'm saying common sense. There's so much inflammation. There's so much anger in the land, and you don't aggravate it.
No, you don't.
By driving a knife through it.
But if the issue is purely tribal, can you say? Can you tell the true story?
No, hold on. When do you determine an issue is tribal?
That's what he's saying. It was pure report. He was not drawing influence.
Hello, sorry. We have a Mark from Ojodu. Mark, good morning to you. Hello, Mark. Are you there? All right. Better luck next time.
He was not inferring. He was not drawing conclusions. He was presenting the facts.
Hello, good morning. Are you Mark?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Are you Mark?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Now, there's no single security in Noche. No security in Noche. Anything is no security.
Okay. Oh, what location is that again?
Oshodi.
All right, but is voting going on?
No police, no security, no police, no army, nothing.
Have you?
Is voting going on?
Is voting going on?
If you are able, no vote.
If you're what?
They say if you are able, man, no vote.
Oh, but I don't want to hear this thing is not helping the situation. Who is telling you that?
I said some talks. They say no to the vote.
Okay, thank you. Tochukwu, that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. When you begin to tell me what a particular thing is anti-Igbo, anti-Yoruba, anti-Calabar, are you helping the situation?
No, you're not helping the situation. But if that's the facts that he's presenting, if he's being conjectural, if he's guessworking, if he's drawing conclusions, if he's inferring, then or you bringing in sentiment, but he's reporting pure facts. A thug said, if you're from so-so ethnic group, and he mentioned the group, you will not vote. How else could he have reported it?
How did you put it just now? If you are so-so from so-so ethnic group.
Because I have taken courses here in broadcasting 101.
Sorry,
the man on the street has no such training.
Now, let's listen to a trained reporter.
All right.
Good morning to you. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. We have problems connecting her. The moment we're ready, we'll take her. Ufeli, I'm saying there's a way you report things and you inflame the situation. There's a way you report things and you douse tension.
Yes.
That is what we are talking about here.
That's understood. But you know, in law, like in criminal law, when the arrow keeps pointing to one direction, most, like 4 persons I've counted now, have been saying this particular thing is going on, this is going on, even though they don't know, they don't have the right technical skills to present it. But should we suppress it? So perhaps what we should do is to send a message out there that don't be don't create this issue of tribal segregation or suppressing people on the basis of their tribe. Is their constitutional right to vote, and they should be allowed to do so. Perhaps if we send that message, maybe 1 or 2 persons will pick it there and then make amends. But if we pretend it is not happening,
all right,
whereas it's out there,
we have our reporter now. Ojedeji is on the line. Good morning to you, Ojedeji.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, and the children of God told you something.
Yeah, please. What's your location? Identify it.
Now I'm in a better on the unit 108.
What can you tell me?
That is Alimoso.
What can you tell me now?
Now the situation is on football. Just stop the polling unit. Now started telling that the people how people are going, telling them if you don't vote for this particular political party, we're going to kill all of you, we're going to send you back to where you are coming from. Here with me now, I have one of the party agents, which happens to be the party agent, right here with me now.
All right.
I would like to put him on now.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah.
So my name is Ethel, I'm representing CDP, 108.
Okay.
In Chile Junction. We were here when the Hoodlums, they came with the 2 vehicles, and looking Haggard and other things, and they came out and said the church of the people and said, if you didn't vote, he does not want to mention the party was said, I want to know the party. He said, if you didn't vote APC, that all of you will be killed and all of you will be. And these people that are voting are people that came for this place are people that are living in the neighborhood, and they are voting with people that are voting. But also in the neighborhood, because they know that they say if eventually basically use a Facebook, that they will go after them, will go after the order. That is the position as it is now. We are living here, there's danger, we don't know. The society will find ourselves. We should be carrying guns so that we kill ourselves.
And what a society are we likely to have?
So that's what I want to say. I don't know what you guys are going to do. The media, I don't know. And I said, bro, that somebody, he was on the ground when things happened. He was there. He was about to know what polling unit is this, and before the people came and started putting check on all of us.
What is security doing?
Sorry, do we have the security people there?
There is no any security from there, right? As we are speaking.
Ojedeji.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Has the election taken place there?
Yes. People are casting their votes. As they were casting their vote, that is how those hoodlums just drove in, some on bikes, some on shuttle bus, started threatening people, carrying bottle around that if they don't vote for their own party, they're going to come after them one after the other. They're going to deal with them. They should go back to where they were coming from. They should go and develop their own state as well.
Okay. Thank you.
That is the situation on that.
And
every place I've been to at Alimosho, the election is going on peacefully. There is no any cause to allow, and we have security partner on ground.
Okay. Thank you, Ojedeji, for your time.
You're welcome.
So we talk about different strokes for different folks.
This is unfortunate. And unfortunately,
in 2023,
one of their leaders, the leaders of this kind of people, said it 2 days ago, made a threat on video 2 days ago that if you are not from this particular side and you vote this particular person or you don't vote this particular, there will be crisis. They will kill, they will maim, they will do all that. The police didn't go after him till now. He came out yesterday and did a damage control online, which
after the horse had
he has sent the message already to.
All right, we have Chika. Chika is one of us. Chika, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, Chika.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Chika, identify your.
There is a serious issue in Ilaje Road.
All right.
Polling unit 048, Ilaje Road. So talks are going around harassing people. At polling unit 048, all the agents of PDP, Labour Party, Accord Party, they collected all their cards. As I'm talking to you now, they don't have tags again.
Who did?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Who collected the cards?
Talks. They are just moving in Keke and Siana. They even came with cane and told people that to vote for APC, that if you don't vote for APC, you hear from them. All the party agents there, apart from APC, they collected all their tax.
Wow.
And the question
Polling
is...
unit 048, Ilajero.
And there's no security personnel there?
No, not even security personnel. They are just, paroling. But they didn't do anything. They did as if nothing was happening. Those who did it with all alacrity, like nothing is happening.
And impunity. All right, Chika.
So when I interviewed one of the PDP party agents at that polling unit, he said he cannot do anything before they will hand him. So he was even happy that they did not touch him. They only threatened him and they took his tag.
All right. Chika, we leave it there. We are at the studio end here. We are appalled, But thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Tochukwu, we are in interesting times.
That's really sad. The thing is that I can understand a politician wanting to win elections at all costs. Can I understand this do or die attitude or mindset mindset of the politician? But what of the security agents? What is the Lagos State Police Commissioner saying about this? What is the Chief Inspector General of Police saying about this? Because we've seen this before. It's not new. It happened in the previous election. Why wasn't additional precautions taken against such actions, such activities in this particular election? And why would security officials, agents, sit around and watch KKs, watch the thugs move in groups, KK, bike, buses? You don't stop them, you don't question them, you don't challenge them. And they come to this polling unit, stay there, they don't touch and go. It's not a 1 minute thing. But hang in there, dominate the place, intimidate the people, and no security agent comes around.
All right.
Something has gone terribly wrong.
All right, let's go to Okota now. Somebody is waiting. Good. Emmanuel is waiting. Emmanuel, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, my brother.
What can you tell me?
I'm calling from Canal State, Okota.
So what are you telling me now?
The experience here is that talks were everywhere, take over everywhere.
All right. In what way? Okay. Please, Emmanuel, if you are listening, call us again. 0700 903 903 and 903. Ophelia, I want you to compare the two reportages we had before the previous ones. And the way, douse tension. Ken is reaching us back from Amor. Yeah, Ken, welcome back.
Yes, sir. They've arrived there. They arrived here 15 minutes after.
All right.
When they came in, some agents, he said we should not call. I don't know how I'm going to describe it. What the person is wearing is APC tag.
Okay.
When we voted last time, he suddenly came with some guys and said that we cannot stay there. That we must move about a boat out of the where we voted last time. So they were asking him why. It became an issue. I've made some videos of it, which I may send to you later. So
okay.
Now, instead of us to start up, now that INEC has come, they are here arguing that we must move to where they want. But the people vote, they say no, that this was where we voted the other time. So I don't know why, even now they're coming late, they don't want them to start.
But you have not voted yet, have you?
They are not even set up. They are trying to set up. This will refuse.
Okay.
That they must move. Then they must move to the place they want.
You are doing...
That place is a bit exposed. They want a place that is a bit secluded.
All right.
Well, we can monitor anybody coming into the area.
Okay. Ken, you are doing a yeoman's job. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. All right, Ken. Chuku, I was saying we are living in interesting times.
Disheartening times.
So disappointed about
tear-jacking times.
The kind of information coming out from the field. I'm so disappointed because I thought that this time around the people will behave themselves, but it appears the politicians have gone ahead again, as they always do. And if you see the consistency in the reportage, in the report coming from the field, it's one that is scary. Because the implication is that we're going to end up at the tribunal. And if it becomes so overwhelming that people were not allowed to vote, or the voter suppression all around, we're still going to repeat this process.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for whatever reason they are doing what they are doing, maybe later they will say go to court and all that. The judiciary also have its ways. We remember Mayor and Meche and INEC. The Supreme Court said they will do justice even if the heavens will fall. You can compromise to some level, but you get to some point when the judiciary will unleash its own full weight against. We are not going to get away with this, I can assure you.
Yeah.
This is not the right thing, please. It's not the right thing.
A listener, Richard is his name. He's here. Good. Ijesha, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, Richard, what can you tell me?
Yeah, what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, go on.
What I'm trying to it's not a question.
Oh dear, you are breaking. Oh dear. Richard,
is it position that I know?
Richard, yeah, the signals we are getting from you are breaking, you know. Okay. Tochuku, so we're dealing with the politics of hope and the politics of cynicism. You know, one would have expected that between 1999 and today, when we have recorded an unbroken democratic practice, by now we should be on top of the game.
Yes, especially with INEC introducing all these new measures, all these transmission from the polling units, and having done a good job in Anambra State.
Sorry, we'll go quickly to Okota. One of our friends is waiting. Good morning to you. Are you there, Okota? Yeah, you were telling me about Anambra.
Yeah, a good job in Anambra State and also in Osun State. So Nigerians had high expectations, and these were with some changes in the Electoral Act too. So we expected something almost flawless, something credible, something fair, and something decent. But now what we are getting is the worst we've ever had in a long time.
Yeah.
But Ufele has faith. He's a lawyer. He has faith in the judiciary. So I think they tell us the court is the final hope of the common man.
It is their season.
It is.
It's not the same.
And then they chop.
This is a very sad moment.
It's very sad. But and he believes that in the end, this will go to court and that justice will prevail. The best we can do is feel terrible about what is happening today, but remain optimistic that ultimately the judiciary will do the right thing and either repeat the election.
The right thing means making the rule of war work.
Yes.
The rule of law work. Onyebuchi is reaching us back from Egbeda. Onyebuchi, good morning one more time.
Yeah, good morning, citizen, one more time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so presently I'm at Egbeda as it is.
Okay.
That's around the Greenland area of Egbeda. So between Idimu to that Egbeda access, we still have a very low turnout of of voters. In fact, in most of the polling units I've seen from Idimu to Egbeda, the INEC officials are just sitting down, no voter turnout. And then another significant thing I noticed is that around the Greenland area of Egbeda, specifically the road leading to the Oga of Egbeda Palace, some group of young men, apparently they are going to vote, but they are with their dogs. So yeah, they are with their dogs. So they are in drone like that with the dogs, going to vote. So I wouldn't know why. So I just thought I should let you know about it.
Okay.
And then like I said also earlier, the issue of movement is it's heavy here. You have regular movement within the street. You have bikes moving within the street. You have shops opening. And people sitting at this so-called paraga joints.
Yeah.
And then like some people reported also, I witnessed some talks in their group. These ones, some of them move on bike. They move from location to location, and then some others go in group.
Sorry.
They walk from one polling unit to the other.
You can.
They seem to be observing, and then they move on.
Onyebuchi.
They just move from polling unit to polling unit.
Yeah.
I didn't see them disturbing anybody.
Okay.
But they come in their group in numbers, and then they observe what is going on, and then they move on.
All right.
So that's what I can say for now.
Onyebuchi, interesting. That one dog, did you say one dog?
Not one dog.
They reach like 4 or 5.
Yes, exactly.
This was security.
And I am surprised that you are shocked that dogs are involved.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay.
The guys were actually, they were in their numbers, apparently they were friends, so they all decided to move with their dogs.
Okay.
Of various breeds, so.
That's a new element. Thank you, Onyebuchi. Many thanks.
There is a circular for the Inspector General of Police that people should not go out with their dogs to the polling units. This is completely at variance with that policy, the police, because you are going to have dogs at the dogs can disenfranchise people from voting.
I'm sorry. Sorry, let me stop you. We have Esther is reaching us live. Esther, good morning again.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yeah, identify your location.
So I'm currently at Ikoyi 1, polling unit EC08 here. And I would say that in some of the polling units along this route, we saw very low turnout. Although it is estimated that some of the polling units where you see very few people, it is officially just 25 persons who are meant to actually cast their vote along on that particular polling unit. However, in the polling unit, only 9 persons are already out there for the accreditation. I also witnessed along Ikoyi here and Victoria Island that there are low voter turnout. But at this moment, right here, this particular area, we could see a lot of voter turnout. And there are some dogs who are having some misunderstanding. I don't know what is causing it. Party agents who are all over the place. We do hope that things are carried on safely. There are security personnel here too. So we have about 4 polling units on this particular route. This polling unit here, we have 4 of them. One of them is this. You can see that there are security personnel there, but no one is standing there to get accredited. We also see some persons who are standing by here, possibly waiting for their turn, to either cast their vote or monitor how the voting process will go. So far, everyone is just here, standing, watching how things are going, having their arguments, eating and drinking. You can see as the video is ongoing there, everyone is just going about their business.
Esther, except that I'm seeing vehicular movements.
Yes.
Are you
the routes? They are moving. Apparently they reside in this area, so they're moving. Like I said, compared to the presidential elections, when we saw security heavily, moving around, right now there's this laxity here. But people are having fun, and people are out there. If they are not voting, They're playing. Okay, you can see. They're saying, "Do not get my video camera." You can see that. So that's how this particular area is. This is one of the in streets, and hopefully things will be safe. People that don't want their faces to be in the video. But so far, around Ikoyi is peaceful. We've recorded very peaceful election processes going on. There's a little voter apathy this time around. We do not know why, but as the day goes on, possibly more persons will come out to get themselves accredited and eventually cast their votes. But so far, so good. This area is quite serene.
One thing that trips me about your report is the excitement in your voice.
No, of course, field reporting is the best. You just need to love the job to do it.
Thank you. So see you later at the station.
Yes, see you. Thank you.
All right then. So different colors, different coat of many colors.
Yes. Of course, you can't have the same report in all the polling units. At least there are places where, like the reporter before this one said that in some places in Alimosholhu government that voting is going on peacefully. And then conversely, you have areas where you have total disruption, and even areas where NEC just arrived and some persons are asking for a relocation, just like Rufai talked about VGC. They are asking that they relocate the polling unit. Is that for what purpose? What objective are they trying to achieve by relocating the polling unit? Those are questions we need to ask, and who gave the directive? And we need to know all that.
All right, we'll go back to Adeola from Atisheri Oshun. That's Oshun. We attempted to get her or him earlier. Good morning, Adeola. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, please identify your location.
I'm calling from Ishari Oshun.
Where is that?
At Japanese.
Okay. Okay. What can you tell me?
What really happened is that there are some talks around the area going to each polling station, and they are weekend plugging people that people should not come out to vote if they are not voting for their party. So that's the issue there, and their security there. I mean the police. They were there, they were not doing nothing.
Okay. So for you, the voter is disenfranchised in that part of Lagos?
Yes.
No security personnel there?
There were some, but they are not doing anything. They were just there, looking at them.
Okay. Sometimes I wonder if this thing, you know, they are not doing anything. Security people are not doing anything. Sometimes I wonder if it is true. And also, you conjecture, are they acting on instructions?
Of course. They are trained to take orders and give orders, so they can only act on instructions. And the DPOs must have instructed them to behave in a certain way. And the DPOs get their instructions from the commissioner. So, similar things happened in the previous election, that is in the presidential election. And I had eyewitnesses talking about how the thugs came and people were appealing to the police, stop the police and say, look at the thugs, look at what they are doing. The police said, well, the police didn't say anything, I just moved away. So I think there's been a lot of compromising, a lot of unprofessionalism, a lot of unethical behavior.
Yeah. From people who should know.
You should know much, much better, yes.
All right, let me take you to Egbeda. Emmanuel is waiting. Emmanuel, good morning. Ilasa, I beg your pardon. Emmanuel, how are you?
It's all right. It's been okay.
What can you report to me?
Okay, from my area here in Lasamaja, at a particular unit. Hello?
Go on.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Before now, around 8 a.m. this morning, some thugs moved around and they have to train people that they are not voting a particular party. They will not be allowed to vote. And the particular tribe should not come out. They should not be within inside their house. So we need to follow up on what has been trending for like days now on social media.
Yeah.
So I think as it is now, no one has gone to the police unit where I live. No one has got there to even group application or whatever. People are afraid. In fact, the threatening some people they are standing this morning as they pass by their house, like there were about 50 of them. So it's really affecting voting, and I'm not sure the real numbers will come out or turn out today for the TV right. It's worrisome.
Yeah.
So this not supposed to be the narrative.
Emmanuel, at the studio end here, we are also scandalized. Nobody likes it. After 24 unbroken years of democracy practice, democratic practice, we're still behaving like small children. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Wobbling.
The reason for the apathy may be attributed to this voter suppression because it is glaring that people are not being allowed to exercise their franchise.
But let me quickly interrupt you. Are you not surprised that over time, similar reports of voters suppression, intimidation and all that, had not been punished?
It has not been punished because the politicians have their grip on the law enforcement agencies. When they plan...
And the judiciary?
No, you have to, first of all, arraign a person, take him to court for judiciary intervention. Judiciary will not go and arrest. Now, the politicians already have a grip of the security agencies and their like. So what happens is that when they plan for election, now, the reason they are using voter suppression is because they know that if you allow the people to come out and vote, it may go the other way around. Okay, so in order not to allow it to even go the other way around at all, okay, suppress them, don't allow them to exercise their... And they forget that the implication is once this is properly proven, because it's becoming overwhelming that this is what's going on. And if it's proven like this in the tribunal, and the tribunal is not biased, they may go, yes. And we should also know that this is governorship election. If you start from the tribunal, then to the Court of Appeal, then from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. So we have layers. Okay, you're going to. So I mean, this cannot be watered down completely at the three
all right.
hierarchies of courts.
Let's join Silas. Silas is at his solo. Silas, good morning again.
Okay, good morning again, sir.
Yeah.
I'm still hesitant to make the same report I made earlier. Up to this moment, in like 4 or 5 polling units around me, we have not seen any elect officials. You said what we're seeing is somebody even going with a car to threaten us that if you are not voting for anything, I should go back home and speak. Up to this moment, we have not seen any elect officials. Like
this
75, 76, 77, 78, 73, 74. None of them have recorded any elect official, no security agent, no elect official.
Yeah, and about 11 minutes to 11, the INEC people are not there yet, Silas.
They are not there yet. I have to call the presiding officer because they was in our polling the last time. He said, according to what he told me, he said they are not yet being released from the collection center.
Okay. Silas, Silas, what can I say, or what can you yourself do at a time like this?
I'm still waiting, but I know that this thing is a calculated attempt because they have known that the complaint that the way the ruling party that they will not give them reasonable. That's what they are doing. This is a calculated rigging. So I still waiting, patiently waiting in the polling.
All right, thank you, Silas. If there's a development, when NEPA comes, sorry, did I say NEPA now? When INEC comes, let me know, Silas. It's crazy. It's not a laughing matter.
It's interesting. You're beginning to mix NEPA for INEC because INEC is becoming as discredited as NEPA has been over the years.
Oh boy.
The average Nigerian thinks that when the light goes off, that NEPA deliberately take away the light. So it became a very, very
that is a conspiracy theory.
That's so,
don't infest me. Don't infect me either with it.
That's what the Nigerian thought or thinks. So INEC also is beginning to have this very terrible image of unprofessionalism, unethical, irresponsible, and untrustworthy kind of behavior. So it's not surprising you mix the two up.
All right. Tochukwu, there's a lady waiting for us. She's Nkechi at Okoko. Nkechi, I greet you. Nkechi, are you there? Okay. She does not want to talk with us now.
Okay.
Nkechi, when you are ready, let's get talking. Okay, Nkechi, are you there? Yeah, I beg. Let me know your location.
Sir?
Where you there? Where are you at?
Oh, the line is not here. I cannot hear you.
Me, I can hear you. I hear you at Okokomaiko.
Say yes.
What can you tell me?
I said I want to give a report.
Go on.
Yes, at bus mechanic at Okoko. There are a lot of problems there.
Like
Agboro people, they don't allow people to come and cast their votes. They are fighting there now.
Wow. But INEC people are there.
Yes, are there.
Have you yourself cast your vote?
No, as I saw as things are going on, I just came back.
Okay. But you will still go to vote, won't you?
Yes, I will still go back.
At least we expect the Agberos or whoever you talked about to clear from the way.
Sir?
By the time you go back, I expect troublesome people to go, Abi?
Yes.
Thank you, Nkechi. Thank you very much. Tochukwu, me, I don't know what to say again, safe to express, there's nothing wrong with the country. There's a lot wrong with the people. The people are not ready. Nigerians are not ready for this change we are talking about.
We're talking about Nigerians or the power elite in some states.
The power elite are Nigerians.
Yeah, they are not the majority of Nigerians.
I agree.
Yeah, they're the
but
ones.
You call them the power elite.
Yes.
But Tochukwu, experience is telling me that people power can overwhelm this elite you are talking about.
Yeah, but the elite can fight back. Like Okonji Iweala said in his book, fighting corruption is dangerous. Fighting the power elite is dangerous because power elite will fight back. And that's what is happening right here.
All right. Jennifer is at Mafoluku. We'd love to take the report from her. Jennifer, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, what can you tell me?
Yeah, I'm calling from polling 014.
Okay.
Makinde Street, Makinde. So there's a lot of things going on here. Actually, I voted. So, but in my own polling unit, there's nothing about that. Another polling unit beside me, I see the way of those people, they're flogging people up and down, telling them if you are not voting for APC, you should go. If you are Igbo, you should go. I don't know why they are doing like that. They are just flogging people up and down, and it's bad.
All right. Jennifer, that's what we are talking about at the studio end here. We are surprised things like this can happen in 2023. But thank you, Jennifer. we thank goodness that you have voted.
Yes, I voted.
All right. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye for now.
So, Jones, you see, this flogging people, this saying, if you're not from a certain ethnic group, you should go home. If you're not voting for APC, you shouldn't be here. If you vote, we'll come after you because we know you're from our... If you vote against our party, we'll come after you. We know you because you're from our neighborhood. It's not anecdotal anymore. It's becoming the prevailing reality. And it shouldn't be tolerated in Nigeria after 24 years of democracy. It is barbaric. It's just, it's criminal. It makes you want to cry for Nigeria. It makes you want to cry for your country. So there's something must be done.
Don't cry here because we may not.
You don't get enough.
I don't get power.
It makes me want to cry.
All right. Francis is reaching us from. Francis is reaching us from France. France is in faraway Europe. France.
You are not telling me far away. This is why the people are seeing us like we are just fooling ourselves. They are giving you a report right from that place, right from where you are now. You are asking if the woman that. What is not from that baby boss? What did you want to do? If you go to that place, they are telling talk there. And that different way they go, that the other guys have to go to express.
I have trouble understanding what you're saying, you know, because the line is cracking up.
Okay, sir. What I'm trying to do is, whenever anybody calls from any direction, please report it to the appropriate center so that it can be there a matter of defense. Not to when the time to remove the bus later you said they should go back and vote. What are they doing to go to vote? When the bus about that be removed.
Okay.
The government said it in the bus now. You are telling people to wait. What are they doing? And did you check what almost kept two people in the vote and it's happening right on your face. You are telling me that we don't know what to do.
I want to trust that what you said is for me, for my consumption. Okay, I can't pretend to piece together what he said, but
you didn't hear what he said. I heard what he said.
Yeah, I think he's saying that the woman said the place had been disrupted, and that's the Nkechi who called from mechanic at Okoko. And the woman said the place had been disrupted, and why are you asking her to go back and vote? That's what I heard. I don't know whether that's what you heard.
That's what he said.
No. I asked her, as it is, are you
still going to go back?
Still going, and she said yes. So what could I have
and
said?
he continued. MC Ulomo said it, threatened people, and it's his threat that is coming to pass.
Out.
It's coming. So
what should I do?
He has not been arrested.
What should I do? I should go and arrest him?
No. I think he expects you to.
We must go on a break.
On a break.
Yeah. Ufele,
yes.
We must. Let's savor this break because we need it, especially after the barrage. It doesn't make me feel
tear-jerking story that make me want to cry. Yeah, we did it.
All right. The Nigeria Decide studio will take a break now. We want to savor it. We'll return very shortly, but please stay. Don't forget. Talk is cheap, but voting is free. Take it to the polls. I'm Citizen Jones. See you shortly.
In Nigeria. You can now participate in the electoral processes without any worry whatsoever. The new Electoral Act of 2022 has made robust provisions to ensure persons with disabilities are not left out of the electoral process. The Disability Act and the Electoral Act has mandated INEC to provide special assistance for citizens with disabilities at the polling booth. As a citizen with a disability, you are entitled to non-discrimination, priority voting, braille ballots for the blind, magnifying glasses for albinos, election day instructions to support the deaf, among other provisions. So, when you arrive at your polling unit on election day, all you need to do is present yourself to the polling officer in charge, and you will be given the required support. It is your right by law. Now, nothing can stop you from being part of the electoral process. You are a citizen, and with your voter's card, you are one of the owners of Nigeria. Go out and make your voice heard as we recruit those that will serve us on election day.
Are you concerned about whether or not your vote will count? You can make it count. You can be a citizen observer. Ensure that you follow the process and make your vote count. These are the steps to follow. Take a picture of yourself at the polling unit. Take a picture of the final result at the polling unit. Upload using the link on your screen. Be a citizen observer. This message was brought to you in partnership with VOP TV.
Credible, transparent, and inclusive elections are one of the hallmarks of democracy. That's why the United Nations provides electoral assistance to countries that request it. Although historically, the United Nations has organized, supervised, and observed national elections directly, in today's world, that type of support has become exceedingly rare. The overwhelming majority of electoral assistance provided by the UN these days is aimed at building public confidence in electoral processes and strengthening the capacity of member states to carry out their own credible, inclusive, and peaceful polls. Since its establishment in 1992, the United Nations Electoral Assistance Division has coordinated the provision of United Nations electoral assistance to over 100 countries, large and small, emerging from conflict or stable democracies. EAD is part of the United Nations Department of Political and Peacebuilding Affairs. All requests for assistance are initially reviewed by the Under-Secretary General for Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, who acts as a system-wide focal point for United Nations electoral assistance to member states.
Providing electoral support to member states is an important part of the work of the United Nations. The assistance is often designed to complement our efforts in support of peaceful transitions, democratic development, the rule of law, human rights, and gender equality. While the UN can assist, the responsibility for organizing genuine elections rests with member states. Well-managed elections can help prevent conflict and contribute to sustaining peace.
United Nations electoral assistance is tailored to the needs and context of the country requesting it.
Avant que l'Organisation des Nations Unies n'apporte une assistance électorale quelconque à un État membre, il faut que deux conditions soient remplies au préalable. La première condition, c'est que cette assistance doit reposer entièrement soit sur un mandat du Conseil de sécurité ou de l'Assemblée générale, soit sur une demande officielle émanant de l'État membre.
Secondly, an assessment of the needs as well as the overall environment in which the election is to take place will be conducted under the authority of the focal point by the Electoral Assistance Division in coordination with other relevant UN entities. The result of such needs assessments is a report submitted to the focal point containing recommendations for the precise parameters of the eventual UN assistance to the member state.
Si le point focal approuve les recommandations de l'évaluation, les projets et programmes d'assistance électorale qui s'en suivront et qui seront mis en œuvre par les entités compétentes des Nations Unies devront strictement respecter les paramètres définis approuvés par le point focal.
The decision of the focal point is also transmitted back to the member state.
In accordance with the principles that guide all United Nations work, electoral assistance is carried out in an objective, impartial, neutral, cost-effective, and sustainable manner with due respect to national sovereignty and national ownership. The United Nations encourages inclusive elections that involve the participation of women and other underrepresented groups, such as people with disabilities and youth. when required during times of electoral crises, EAD can provide support to the Secretary General and UN envoys and to political and peacekeeping missions. Far and away, the most common type of United Nations electoral assistance to its member states comes in the form of technical assistance.
Technical support from the United Nations is structured according to the needs of the member state requesting assistance. This includes support in developing or improving electoral laws, processes, and institutions, and can focus on a single election or cover the longer term. The assistance focuses primarily on the election administration bodies, but can also include assistance to other electoral stakeholders and institutions. Our role is not to judge the legitimacy of elections in our member states. Rather, it's to support our member states to conduct genuine and periodic elections that reflect the will of the people.
EAD maintains and manages the UN's single roster of electoral experts. These experts are qualified to provide specialized technical assistance in a variety of areas and can be called upon to provide this support on behalf of the UN in a timely manner. Different UN can be also and coherence in UN-provided electoral assistance. In collaboration with these UN entities, EAD develops partnerships with governmental and non-governmental organizations and academic institutions. These partnerships foster sharing of resources and knowledge and reinforce the capacity for member states and regional organizations in the area of elections. All United Nations electoral assistance takes into consideration the unique circumstances on the ground in any given country, with the goal of providing sustainable solutions that member states can carry with them for future elections. Of course, for any democracy to work, it requires the participation of the population.
Thank you. Kayla reporting for VOP. I am currently at Ginodu Nursery and Primary School. There are 2 polling units at this particular location. This is polling unit 071 and that's 110. As you can see, there are no voters at this polling unit yet. But right here at 071, the voting has commenced, accreditation has commenced, and everybody is exercising their franchise peacefully without no issues. There are no security officials on ground, but everything is peaceful and calm. I just spoke to a party agent for the APC party, and she said there are no issues. So, yeah.
So currently at the moment, I am actually at Ikoyi 131, polling unit 031, and right here I'm with one of the party agents, Labour Party agent here. So we're going to ask him questions as to how this area has been. We've been hearing reports, especially at Surulere, that there have been some shooting and what I call it, some unrest in that area, discouraging persons from coming out to cast their vote, and it's quite an unfortunate scenario, I must confess to you. A couple of persons have been afraid, and WhatsApp messages already circulating telling a lot of people not to go along that axis. So while we were also, perusing the streets, we realized that a couple of polling units, persons are not there. It's either the INEC officials are around, but we're not seeing residents coming out to cast their vote. So based on this particular polling unit, did the INEC officials come in on time?
No, actually, they didn't come on time. I think they came like after 9 or so. But it has been relatively peaceful. There's no apathy or violence. Accreditation has started and voting has already commenced. So everything is peaceful here on O31 Ikoyi L1.
So, but what's the, what's the turnout like, especially because I can see that very few people are along this particular axis here. As you can see, some of the polling units, very few people have come out. Are we still expecting some persons to come out, or are they waiting for some kind of assurance that things will get better very soon?
Yes, but at least we can't see any of the security agents here yet. So maybe people are afraid to come out, but I know that more people will still come out to vote because voting just commenced. It just commenced like 30 minutes ago. So more people will still come out. Those who are residing here, they will still come out to vote. I assure you that.
Okay, so we're still expecting some voters to come out and, exercise their franchise. We do know that for the gubernatorial elections, about 28 states are the ones viable for this election, and about 900 and something councillorship, senator, state assembly seats are available as well. And we have about 10,000 persons who are vying for the state assembly seat. So we will be giving you updates right here on Voice of the People as we visit some of the polling units. Currently, I'm still at Ikoyi visiting some of the polling units along this particular axis, and right here we have EC30B INEC polling zone. I'm going to be speaking with some of the residents here who have come out to exercise their franchise to tell us what the general feel is like. Hello, how are you? So did the officials come in on time?
I don't know, me too, I came late too.
Well, what's the scenario here like? How this place be? Everything there peaceful?
Yeah, everything is peace. We are lucky like that. We are do it. We're lucky like that. It's very nice. Yeah.
So, as you can see, apparently this area is relatively peaceful. A lot of persons are getting accredited before they get the voting process come on. I would also like to speak with more people. Hello, can I speak with you?
This is polling unit 031, Ifakoija, a local government, and the INEC officials are just getting here a few minutes ago. And as you can see, they are just trying to get their materials ready for accreditation and voting. And I went to two other polling. All right, what can you say about the turnout of voters who are ready to exercise their franchise?
Many people have came before because of their late.
Okay.
Many people are late, so some of them are going back.
All right, this is Voice of the People on 90.3 FM and, of course, Voice of the People television. Right here, I'm currently at Ikoyi 1 polling unit 54, and that's polling unit 23. You can see the INEC officials here. Apparently, for this particular polling unit, only about 25 persons are registered, so it is expected that 25 persons are to cast their votes. For now, accreditation is still on. I will be speaking with the INEC officials to just give us a brief on exactly how it's meant to be here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Can you explain to us how many voters are meant to come to this particular polling unit?
25.
Okay, so far, what's the turnout like?
People are coming out gradually. We already have about 9 people now that have been accredited. So we have 9, so we are still expecting others to come.
Was it like this too during the presidential elections?
I'm not here on presidential. We're at 1004, so I'm not here.
All right, so far for this polling unit, it is expected that only very few people are to be here. Apparently, only 9 persons have done their accreditation. More persons are expected to come, but for this particular polling unit, it's just 25. So far, I would like to speak with one of the residents who is already standing here, who is also a party agent for the Young Progressives Party, YPP. You can see that here. So, generally, what's the purview like?
Said.
How do you feel, or how's the process ongoing now that you've been here, you've been waiting? Is there voter apathy as at the presidential elections? Did we have more turnout by this time?
The turnout is poor compared to the presidential election, but we are still expecting people to come out and cast their votes. That's why we are here, to monitor the vote and play our role for the greater Nigeria.
All right, so as you can see, a lot of persons are standing, trying to ensure that more persons come out to cast their vote. So far, everywhere is calm and cool, and the environment seems to be okay. Everyone is also self-organizing, you know, just doing their thing. Some persons are with drinks and food to ensure that they enjoy while they're casting out their votes. This is another polling unit here as well. You can see the ballot box, Governorship, House of Assembly, that's State House of Assembly. The INEC officials are on ground. The security personnel there is here too, and they're waiting for persons to come cast their votes. We do not know why we're not experiencing persons turning up en masse like they did during the presidential, but let's hope that as time goes on, we'll get to see more responses, physical responses of persons coming to their designated polling units to exercise their Goober franchise. Stay on here to Voice of the People Television, Voice of the People 90.3 FM, while we give you more updates as the voting process unfolds.
Babs Animation Road, and we've got several polling units on this road. As you can see, this is polling unit 001, and voting has commenced here. It's going peaceful, going well. And this is 002, with security officials on ground. Voting has commenced as well, and it's a very peaceful environment so far.
And your political agents, they are aware of it. We are not uploading. And your political agents, they are aware of it. We are not uploading.
That means no suffer myself here. Now, it's again. I'm a minimum.
Me? I break her? No. You know, say no because when you break her. Who break her? Who break her? Who break her? 1,070. 1,770. Who break the land? Who break the land? My government. Now me the government. Check.
One, two, for me. Since when he broke my house, if you give me phone,
so you know call them. You know call out.
Give me your number.
You know call out. And you know
where am I going?
All these people are your people. One your people.
Exactly.
That's the Mursal.
How would you describe the process?
Credible, transparent, and inclusive elections are one of the hallmarks of democracy. That's why the United Nations provides electoral assistance to countries that request it. Although historically, the United Nations has organized, supervised, and observed national elections directly, in today's world, that type of support has become exceedingly rare. The overwhelming majority of electoral assistance provided by the UN these days is aimed at building public confidence in electoral processes and strengthening the capacity of member states to carry out their own credible, inclusive, and peaceful polls. Since its establishment in 1992, the United Nations Electoral Assistance Division has coordinated the provision of United Nations electoral assistance to over 100 countries, large and small, emerging from conflict or stable democracies. EAD is part of the United Nations Department of Political and Peacebuilding Affairs. All requests for assistance are initially reviewed by the Under-Secretary General for Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, who acts as a system-wide focal point for United Nations electoral assistance to member states.
Providing electoral support to member states is an important part of the work of the United Nations. The assistance is often designed to complement our efforts in support of peaceful transitions, democratic development, the rule of law, human rights, and gender equality. While the UN can assist, the responsibility for organizing genuine elections rests with member states. Well-managed elections can help prevent conflict and contribute to sustaining peace.
United Nations electoral assistance is tailored to the needs and context of the country requesting it.
Avant que l'Organisation des Nations Unies n'apporte une assistance électorale quelconque à un État membre, il faut que deux conditions soient remplies au préalable. La première condition, c'est que cette assistance doit reposer entièrement soit sur un mandat du Conseil de sécurité ou de l'Assemblée générale, soit sur une demande officielle émanant de l'État membre.
Secondly, an assessment of the needs as well as the overall environment in which the election is to take place will be conducted under the authority of the focal point by the Electoral Assistance Division in coordination with other relevant UN entities. The result of such needs assessments is a report submitted to the focal point containing recommendations for the precise parameters of the eventual UN assistance to the member state.
Si le point focal approuve les recommandations de l'évaluation, les projets et programmes d'assistance électorale qui s'en suivront et qui seront mis en œuvre par les entités compétentes des Nations Unies devront strictement respecter les paramètres définis approuvés par le point focal.
The decision of the focal point is also transmitted back to the member state.
In accordance with the principles that guide all United Nations work, electoral assistance is carried out in an objective, impartial, neutral, cost-effective, and sustainable manner with due respect to national sovereignty and national ownership. The United Nations encourages inclusive elections that involve the participation of women and other underrepresented groups, such as people with disabilities and youth. When required, during times of electoral crises, EAD can provide support to the Secretary General and UN envoys and to political and peacekeeping missions. Far and away, the most common type of United Nations electoral assistance to its member states comes in the form of technical assistance.
Technical support from the United Nations is structured according to the needs of the member state requesting assistance. This includes support in developing or improving electoral laws, processes, and institutions, and can focus on a single election or cover the longer term. The assistance focuses primarily on the election administration bodies, but can also include assistance to other electoral stakeholders and institutions. Our role is not to judge the legitimacy of elections in our member states. Rather, it's to support our member states to conduct genuine and periodic elections that reflect the will of the people.
EAD maintains and manages the UN's single roster of electoral experts. These experts are qualified to provide specialized technical assistance in a variety of areas and can be called upon to provide this support on behalf of the UN in a timely manner. Different UN entities can be involved in electoral assistance, each working according to what they can bring to the process. Part of EAD's role within the UN is also to develop UN internal electoral policies and to ensure consistency and coherence in UN-provided electoral assistance. In collaboration with these UN entities, EAD develops partnerships with governmental and non-governmental organizations and academic institutions. These partnerships foster sharing of resources and knowledge and reinforce the capacity for member states and regional organizations in the area of elections. All United Nations electoral assistance takes into consideration the unique circumstances on the ground in any given country, with the goal of providing sustainable solutions that member states can carry with them for future elections. Of course, for any democracy to work, it requires the participation of the population.
You will never see that.
We're ready?
Our expression.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Nigeria Decide studio. And of course, we are here courtesy of the Voice of Nigeria TV Live. Get us on youtube.com/@VOP TV Live. And of course, on the Voice of the People Radio 90.3 FM on your radio dial. I'm Citizen Jones. After the break, we are back and ready to go. Of course, 25 minutes past 12 in the city of Lagos, the governorship and assembly elections are going on across the country in 28 states of the 36. And of course, the 36 states for assemblymen and women, no less so in Lagos. There are 40 seats in the Lagos State House of Assembly, and we have 394 people jostling for that, for those 40 seats, I should say. But let's quickly rejoin my colleague, and my colleagues, I should say. Evans Ofeli is still here. Evans is a barrister at law and also a constitutional attorney. I greet you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Tochukwu Izukama is a town planner by training. He's a biographer by vocation and love. And of course, he's a political commentator. Tochukwu, I greet you.
Thank you so very much.
Tochukwu, the election should be hotting up, I should say, across the...
By this time.
Yeah, and across the country, you know. We talked earlier about Port Harcourt, River State, and Kano State. These are hotbeds for political activity, and this is because of the sheer cosmopolitan nature of the centers. So Lagos being one of them. People talk about the incumbency factor. Do you think it matters in politics in Nigeria at this time? Incumbency.
The incumbency factor matters. It's very important because the man in office has a lot at his disposal, especially in a country like Nigeria where there's little accountability or transparency. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish between the man's financial resources and the state resources. So the state resources becomes his own, well, it's readily available to him, and the man did.
The conclusion is that the governor has a large war chest.
Secondly, he has appointed the palm sets, the commissioners, the judges, the university chancellors. He controls the market women, the markets, the transporters. So it is so much going for him. And he has the name recognition too. You cannot talk about the incumbent and people say, who is that? Everyone recognizes him. Everything he does is news or in the news. So it means so much. And sometimes people are more comfortable with what they know already. Like the saying goes, it's better to keep dealing with the devil you know and the angel you don't know. So the power, the influence is there, the power is there, and it makes a big difference.
So incumbency is a factor.
It's a factor, a very important factor.
Ofeli,
yes.
There are 11 governors running for second term. One of them is Babajide Sanwo-Olu in Lagos State.
Yes.
Incumbency factor.
Yes, incumbency factor because the governor in Lagos State before Sanwo-Olu came in, Ambode could not clinch his second term for some circumstances, which is attributed to sometimes godfatherism and the rest of it. So
and to a large extent being apolitical.
Apolitical, yes. So now you have a Governor Sanwo-Olu that have done one term, and then he wants to go back for the second term, and the political dynamics seems to be different right now. As at the time of Ambode, the hegemony, the cabals could just, by a stroke of pen, say this is where we are going to, and the people we align. But today, the people seems to be ready to take powers into their hands, to take their destiny into their hands and do something different. So it's not as relaxed as it used to be. That is why you found the governor in churches in the last 1 week, in clubs, all over the place, trying to convince people to vote, even though campaign has closed. We didn't know where they got that power from to do the last minute campaign they were doing, violating the Electoral Act and the rest of it. So it is their duty to ensure that they get the people to vote for them. But the outplay we are seeing today appears to be very worrisome. Worrisome in the sense that there's voter suppression in many locations, as we have heard from the field repeatedly. And I think that should stop. That should stop, because the more we inflict substantial non-compliance with the Electoral Act into the system, the more the outcome will be prone to litigation, and the more evidence will be deduced that there were no substantial compliance with the Electoral Act, and that is the ground for either a rerun or a nullification of the process. So the area boys, the city churches should know that there's an implication to what they are doing right now, because the laws will not go to bed, and the opposition will not go to bed seeing the injustice that has been meted out either way. So there's going to be consequences, and the consequences, remember, will be subjected to 3 layers of litigations, from the panel, from the Electoral Tribunal, to the Court of Appeal, and to the Supreme Court. We are going to have that. So the contest is not going to end today. It's like this is just the beginning. Between now and May, where you're going to have a handover, you are going to have a lot of issues that will come up as a form of litigation that would have sprung out from the way the election, was conducted today. So the parties should be aware of this, and those who go into ethnic bigotry, tribal segregation as a basis for repression of votes should desist from it. Politicians should keep the streams of politics clean. If the streams of politics can never be clean, they should keep it clean, because what we have now is a complete pollution. In 2023, we should be having a system that will guarantee the promises of democracy, that if it is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, then the people should be allowed to exercise their franchise, to do it in a way they deem fit, and not to be asked or forced or coerced into what they should do by virtue of their tribal leaning or by virtue of their heritage. When we go into that, we are not only demeaning democracy, we are repressing the process of growth, and we're sending a wrong signal to the coming generation. Children are watching our analysis. Children are looking at the broadcast. After the presidential election, I was invited to a school to come and talk about the election that was just concluded, to talk to children between 15 years, between 10 years to 15 years. And I had to decline because I won't lie.
Would you say you went down to their level?
No, I declined the invitation. I can't talk. I don't know how I'm going to say the election was. I don't know what to say. I put it out on Facebook for people to advise me. People said I should go there and tell the children what happened. Some said I should lie to them. Some said I should decline. I should make my option. So I felt I should stay away from the conflict. The report we're now getting from today's zone seems to be even more damning. At this hour of the day, seems to be more damning than the one I was supposed to talk about. So you see that the report we are getting from the field is even affecting the analysis, because it's not, the incitement is dampened. We are not, I don't think we are ready for growth. We must do something about ourselves and not the laws now. We must do something about the average Nigerian who will compromise because of money, anything.
Yeah.
It's a problem that we must deal with.
Okay. Gentlemen, you recall that earlier on I mentioned, even if in passing, Toshchuku, you want to take this, women in politics. As we speak, 28 fresh Nigerians are seeking the position of governor of 28 states. 2 of them are women. Aishatu Binani is of the APC in Adamawa State, and there's a Gladys Johnson Ogbuneke, Abia State, Social Democratic Party.
That's a very poor representation, 2 out of 28. That's not impressive at all. But then the thing about power is nobody calls you up and hand over power to you. These are people that scale through the party nomination, the nomination process, and they are representing their political parties. So they are people that have struggled for power within the party, and the party approve of them. So power is by struggle. You have to win or lose the struggle for power. Nobody serves it to you a la carte. So if the women are interested in politics, they should get involved in politics.
What should the husbands or the men do?
The same question. When a man gets into politics, what do the wives do? Some men are in politics, but their wives do not approve of it. Some men, their wives do approve of it.
Yeah.
So,
if your wife is politically savvy and wants to serve, would you be disposed to allowing her?
Personally, I will. Some men won't, some will. Some break out.
Well, I will support
some
it.
Break out of the husband's grip and do what they want to do.
Okay.
Some choose to remain within the husband's confine. So it's personal choice. But we keep talking about women representation in politics as though it's something that falls from above. Some will say 35% of my cabinet will be made up of women. That's all wonderful, but women have to do the needful to be able to gain.
They must be available.
They must be available, they must fight for power,
be ready.
They must struggle for it, they must do all it takes to get power. But if they're not doing it, nobody's going to call them up and dash them power. But it depends on the society too. The average lady, you realize, research has shown that in the primary schools, girls get most of the prizes. Girls tend to be better students than boys. In the junior primary, junior secondary, girls tend to be better students, do much better than boys. But coming from senior secondary school, boys overtake them. There might be a number of reasons for that, but one of the reasons is that as women grow older, the values will start changing. The mindset will start changing.
The dynamics.
Then she starts being told or start realizing that the most important thing for a woman to do is to get married. Whatever you do, if you're not married...
And start having children.
If you're not married by a certain age, it's an indication of not having done well. So the focus, the drive to be the best in wherever her passion directs her to, starts winning. And the focus starts shifting to how do I be a good girl? How do I be likable to, what do I do to be likable to men? How do I get married? So once that is the controlling, overruling factor in the life of a woman, marriage, subservience to a man, raising a family, then you can't expect many women to break through and strive for power.
Gentlemen, there's a group ready to lead Africa, you know, and it's led by a gentleman called God Bless Otubure. I'm told by my producer he's ready to talk with us. Let's bring him on. Hello, Otubure. Good afternoon to you. Can you hear me? What? All right, we're trying to get. God bless. Please try and turn on your mic. Turn on your mic. Okay. We'll get back to him shortly. I think
he's muted.
Yeah. We'll be glad to have God Bless Otubure tell us about Ready to Lead Africa. Ufeli, Nigeria should have been a leader in Africa by now. No. Because, okay, I hear God Bless is ready for us. God Bless, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Please tell us, you are president of Ready to Lead Africa. Please tell us about that organization.
Okay, so Ready to Lead Africa is, just give me a minute. I need to, okay.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to get I'm in the situation room currently, so please forgive me if you hear background noises.
Oh yeah, except that I'm not hearing you very well, you know.
Can you hear me better now?
Let him increase.
Okay, go on.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, you are good.
Okay, great. So, Ready to Lead Africa works in the CSO space where we are advocating for the deepening of democracy with young people as the drivers. So we're focused on working with millennials and Gen Zs and the hard work of protecting democracy and getting involved in the political process, as well as the use of civic tech to deepen democracy and also empower young people across Africa. So we were one of the leading organizations for the electoral reforms campaign, the Not Too Young to Run campaign, as well as just peace building initiatives across the country. So we implemented the first ever youth-led presidential peace accord. We've also done that across different states. And just on February 25th, we launched the tech app called Follow the Results, and the Follow the Results situation room where we deployed accredited observers across the 774 local governments, and now we have results and data that can inform today's decision and tomorrow's actions. Currently, I'm in the situation room where we are following the results with our accredited observers on the field, and we've also just launched the Citizens Observers project, where we've been getting reports from across the country, working with our citizen observers across the 36 states. So currently, we're getting results, and we're getting ready to publish the results as we get them once the voting process ends.
Yeah, God bless. It's natural to ask at this point, and let me speak like a big man of God. Can you count your blessings?
So it has to be in what regards? Because God's blessings are...
in regard to ready to lead Africa.
Oh yes, we have been fortunate to be doing the work we're doing. If you've been watching maybe the mainstream channels, you'll realize that we've had our ads on peace building running on the major TV stations in the country, promoting peace across the country, political participation and youth inclusiveness. So for us at Ready to Lead Africa, we are quite excited about the projects that we have in the pipeline. Our partnership with NYC, our partnership with the U.S. State Department, the U.S. Embassy, the Summit for Democracy Group in the White House. These are all things that we can look back and say, we thank God. And of course, in Nigeria, with the National Orientation Agency and other local institutions like Connected Development and media stations like yours. This is part of our blessings.
All right. God bless. Are you able to appreciate the political atmosphere in our country at this point in time?
I would say currently, before you called, we were having an analysis of what has been going on around the country. I know opinions will differ, but it is a shame what we have seen coming out from Lagos. What we've seen coming out of Kano, some areas in Kano. A partner organization's accredited observer was just beaten to the point of shedding blood in Ebonyi. We're following issues in Bayelsa, the burning of election materials. So for us as young people, we are disturbed. We're terribly disturbed because 2015 we saw a political party leave power and say, if you've won an election, you should win it. So they're coming back to the pre-1999 or 1999, 2023 kind of election where we hear things like it's a do or die affair. It's heavily troubling. That's not the kind of democracy and the kind of country we want to build. That's not the idea of democracy that we hold so dear in our heart. And we are concerned because Mali is not far from our memory. Sudan is not far from our memory. Equatorial Guinea is not far from our memory. Burkina Faso is not far from our memory. These are issues where democracy has been upturned and military dictatorship has taken over. And simply what the non-state actors and what the people who are causing this mayhem in Lagos and other parts of the country are doing, it is simply inviting the very unsavory part of human to take over our political process, and we don't want that. So I am disappointed, and I hope that the military and the police will do the right thing.
All right, God bless, because I have two colleagues here, they want to ask you one or two questions. But just before you go, from me, the youth and democracy in Nigeria.
Well, when you look at what we have done, and I have consistently said to young people that democracy is not a 100-meter dash, neither is it a marathon. It is a way of life. I've been privileged to be at the homes of the founding fathers of the American democracy, the Thomas Jeffersons, the James Madisons, James Monroe, and what have you. I realized quickly that our generation's work is not to finish the work of democracy, but to improve on the work of democracy, is to deepen the practice of democracy and bring democracy to the people so that we're able to tie our own hands and let the institutions of democracy take hold. That is our responsibility. That is the idealism that drives us. So what we've seen is that some of us were very young during June 12th. We saw it from the perspective of our parents. And we started getting involved from 1999 and 2023 and 2007. And in 2011, when some of us left the university, and then we became more involved in the process, we realized quickly what our responsibilities were. So we started the conversation around Not Too Young to Run. We delivered it. And then we came back and said, after Not Too Young to Run, we're going to do electoral reforms. And we delivered electoral reforms. But now that we're saying we need to deliver participatory democracy, the one that is driven by technology, we see the system fighting back. I understand. It is okay. I can say I'm disappointed, but we were already prepared for such a time as this. So you see what we did in Lagos. You saw what we've done across the country. We retired different actors. We've sent governors back home and said, go and retire in your home. Don't retire at the Senate. We're giving voices to people who never had it before. That is what democracy is. So it is working block by block, brick by brick, standing on the youthful creed. Yes, we can.
Yeah, yes, we can. As you said, it is truly a marathon race, not a dash. My colleagues are...
No, it's not even a marathon. It's not a marathon.
It's not a dash. It's not a dash either.
It's not a dash. It's not a marathon. It's a way of life.
It's a race.
An endless race.
All right, my colleagues...
I have...
okay, go ahead.
I have two questions for you. One is that when people talk about Africa, consider Africa such a big political space. So your group is ready to lead Africa, is that correct?
Correct.
You're talking about quite a diverse place. Don't you think that talking about Africa is like you're taking too much, biting too much to bite? I've forgotten how we say it, but can't you narrow it down to Nigeria? Because every African country has its own peculiar problems. So is your focus on Nigeria precisely, or Africa as a whole?
Okay, so let me respond to that. My response to that is, we are a generation that believes that we would either go big or we go home. So the mantra in Texas, which is run by men with one head, two eyes, two ears, said you either go big or go home. So what we are doing is we're inspired by the idea that the capacity to organize and lead across the continent and around the world, it's not only available to those in the West. The guys who founded ExxonMobil, Chevron, and whatever, never thought that they were going to focus on only the American state. They had their mindset that they were going to dominate the world. And for those who are Christians, and I'll just take you back to the creation mandate. It said, go ye into the world, dominate. That's the word, dominate. We don't want to dominate. We are leaving the mandate of the Creator. That even though we were born in Africa, even though we were born in Nigeria, we are not limited to Nigeria. So Ready to Lead Africa is working across the continent. And I'll tell you, we're a young organization, and we started out in 2020. But guess what we've done? We've signed the peace accord in 6 states in Nigeria. We've monitored and observed elections in 3 African countries. We've organized research projects in 6 African countries. So at the end of the day, we are the generation that realize that we don't have to be physically on the ground to do work. So we have people who are leading our work in Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, Liberia. We are doing this work, yet with headquarters in Nigeria. That is the goal. ExxonMobil, BP, what have you, they have headquarters in their country, but they have branches across the world. That is the same thinking. John F. Kennedy once said, he said, we will do the big things in this generation and more. But it's not going to be easy. It is one that we must commit ourselves to. So Ready to Lead Africa today is inspiring emerging leaders. We are working across the continent. And if you take a look at our website, www.readytoleadafrica.org, you will see one major initiative called Ready to Trade. Ready to Trade is our strategy to connect young people across the continent using the instrument of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, so that our generation can take advantage of trading opportunities, so that we can improve the capacity of young people to raise funds, better their lives economically, and deepen trade across the continent. So, sir, we are not biting more than we can chew. Okay. We have the strategy, we have the capacity, and we have the blessing of technology. We will not go small.
Okay.
We'll go big.
One more question. And you talked about your disappointment with the present election, the 2023 election. And that we thought we had made a lot of progress, especially by the examples of 2015, where a sitting president gracefully accepted defeat and congratulated the victorious presidential candidate and then stepped aside. But that it seems we are beginning to regress, going back to the days of 1999, 2003. So this case of taking one step forward and one step backward, or 2 steps forward and 2 steps forward, but backward. I agree with you that it's not a dash. That's democracy. That is a marathon. But what do you think we do on the short run to put an end to this oscillation? Go forward, go backward, at least on the short run, to at least ensure that there's consistency, that we keep moving forward, that the political process evolves, that we grow and improve and improve and improve. What is the solution on the short run?
Thank you so much. I will say this again. I do not believe that democracy is a dash or a marathon. It's not a race. It is a way of life. That is why a democracy like that of the United States, over 240 years old, still suffered the January 6th attack. We still see the push and pull happening. It never ends. Another generation will come and we will change and we will adjust and all of that. So I wanted to say that it's not a marathon, it's not a dash. That's my belief. Let me respond. You were right, sir, that it is as though we have gone back to pre-2015. That is what we now have. And it is absolutely wrong. There is absolutely no way that you and I can feel pride in what has become the election of 2023. This is wrong. People are being beaten. Thugs are moving around and telling people that if you are not voting for APC, don't come out. Somebody is on the just voted, a thug was standing by a police, took the ballot paper, tore it in the presence of a police officer? No, that is wrong. So I agree with you. We are regressing terribly. That is why the solution, and I will say this, is that we will go back to a particular level where we can instill the idea of the practice of democracy. You see, democracy is only as successful as the level of education of those who practice it. Democracy is an egalitarian system of government. People's opinion matter. We don't obey traditional rulers. We don't follow kings. We don't follow just customs. No. People come to the table. People share ideas. There's a social contract. There's accountability. So our strategy is that we're going back to the universities. We're going back to the tertiary institutions. We're going back to the schools. So democracy will now be taught as a way of life to that young child. Because the Bible said, for the Christians, train up the child in the way he should go, so that when they grow, they will not depart from it. The people who are somehow, those who have found themselves in the place of leadership today, they don't have democracy in their head, in their heart. Leadership is all about power. It's about who can decide this or decide that. So these people coming through a process where they don't have an idea of the practice of democracy, and we by default expect them to be democratic. It's not going to work. So if we go to set up democracy clubs in secondary schools, where they now learn how to be egalitarian, they now learn that election is by choosing. People will decide. Then they begin to imbibe that. They get into the university, they take it a notch higher. That is what we're doing. So the next time you see us, we'll be implementing a project called the Keepers of Democracy. We'll do a campus store, and we'll set up clubs, and we'll set up e-democracy platforms.
Hello. Yeah. One question. Just one question. Your organization, you said you are building peace across the country, and you have signed peace accord in 6 states and all that. I want to ask, does the organization have any strategy? Because if you look at the people who are saying, if you don't vote for this political party, go home. If you look at the persons doing this, they are youths. They are all youths. And since your organization represents the most people, or your members are youths, could easily communicate to youths too. Does your organization have any strategy on how to go into the city to talk to people, whether literate or illiterate, tout or not tout, to eschew violence during election, and then to let them know that even the politicians that they are working for don't have their children in the field, do you have any outlet or outreach in your organization? Because I think part of your strategy should be to inform the youths on how to go. Do you have any outlet to that effect, and what are you doing to that effect?
We do. So part of what we're doing is that we're taking peace building beyond signing of peace accord. Recent analysis shows that the people who commit electoral violence are not the people who sign peace accord. So we have come to a conclusion that the guys who are used as the channel of disruption must now be brought to the table. So the peace accord signing will not just be candidates anymore. It would include the different layer of youths, because we also now realize that there is no homogeneity to the demographics called youths. You have low-risk youth, high-risk youth, and you have vulnerable youth. Most of the people causing this problem are high-risk youth and vulnerable youth. I belong to the low-risk youth category. I went to school. I'm economically empowered. My trajectory for potential of earning is high. I'm a low-risk youth. But the guys who are vulnerable and the guys who are high-risk are the ones. What we plan to do is that we are now bringing them to the table. Second thing we're doing, we're partnering with the NYSC. Especially the peace-building CDS groups that will go into the communities, into the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. We will now engage these vulnerable youths, high-risk youths, and make them peace ambassadors. The goal is that when they take on that title, their responsibility, which is tied to a certain kind of performance and reward system, is sustained by our sustainability idea of the project. So yearly, these people that used to cause problems are going to be awarded Peace Ambassadors Award in their community. So the assumption is this: when you award someone the Peace Ambassador for their community, the belief is that they will not be the ones causing problem and chaos, because their upward mobility is tied to their consistency in maintaining the peace in their community. So there are a lot of strategies. This is just one of them. So we believe that we are learning as we work every day. And I can tell you that with organizations like the VOP, partnering with us, side by side, we will get the message to the nooks and crannies of this country.
All right, God bless. One final question.
Okay.
I'm given to understand that your organization, a pressure group, that's the Ready to Lead Africa organization, was instrumental in the introduction of the bimodal voter accreditation system, the BVAS. Would you say the BVAS has helped the monitor, that's the INEC, and with a view to making us improve on our road to democratic freedom?
Well, yes. It is why a lot of us can now say, this is not what we saw. Because what the BVAS does is that it introduces technology to the process, which increases accountability. So what the BVAS that we advocated for, which, for us, that was the strategy to ensure that there is electronic transmission of results from the polling unit level, is simply so that our election results will stop rising like Gary in water. Because the BVAS takes the picture of the polling unit results, transfers it to the central server, and I can say one is one. Even though the BVAS in itself does not solve the problem. It is a combination of the technology, the willingness of the human factor to come together. That is why we have now also said that Using technology does not solve our problem. It is us that will determine that we want to solve this problem. And what we have done is to say, this is what it means to build strong institutions. Beavers, use it. No matter whose horse is going, no matter whose interest is at stake, use it. When you use it, that is how you build strong institutions. When the January 6th insurrection happened, the Vice President of the United States said, I'm not leaving the Capitol because we've got work to do. So, Beavers for us is a game changer, but those who don't want the game to change are making it look like Beavers is not a game changer. That is not true. Beavers is good. It is going to tell us who has won, who has not won. We can go to court using the affidavit, using the results, using the evidence. That is how we are proud of the Beavers inclusion, even though the political guard don't want change because they know that the people may not like them and the people may not vote for them. That's why they are manipulating the whole thing. But we'll get better.
All right.
We'll keep hope alive. We'll keep working. We'll keep pushing.
Yeah, we will get there. So we're still in the race, even though you believe it is not a marathon. Neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. But many thanks. God bless Otubure. I must stop you here.
Thank you.
God bless is, by definition, the president of the Ready to Lead Africa pressure group. Many thanks for your time.
We're a non-profit organization. We're not a pressure group.
No, okay.
Or
okay.
a regional organization.
All right.
Yeah.
So be it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So the viewer, the listener, is able to appreciate what we are in. What we're in for. Democracy is a race, even though God bless does not think it's a marathon or a dash, but it's a race. You don't calculate in seconds.
Yes. One of the things this interview has thrown up here is that CSOs, civil society groups, should do more to buy over the citizens of this country as against the politicians infiltrating them. You see these people that are saying, go home if you are not voting this political party. If the CSOs have been able to come together and possibly buy them over, get them to understand the implication of what they are doing, and then the implication of doing the right thing as against what they are doing now, perhaps we would have reduced the number of people that have been sold out to perpetrate violence. Maybe the larger society, with the poverty on ground, we're able to find our way around getting these people. They are usually, like you said, they are high-risk people.
Yeah.
Security risk persons. We can, if we organize ourselves in our communities through maybe the traditional ruler system or whatever, sensitize them, maybe provide for them if need be, and in this era, in a way, meet them halfway in welfare-wise, and then compel them to turn against the politicians to ensure that democracy is properly installed. We need to do that. It's not enough to get PVC and ask people to go out. How about if they go out and some other persons refuse them to vote, like what is happening now? So, I mean, we need to do more. INEC also need to do more.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, Tochukwu, at every election cycle, the impression is to blame or nail the INEC as the fall guy. But INEC is not incapacitated because it wants to get so, but politicians are not giving us a break.
Yes, but INEC has not done its best. At 10, election is supposed to start at 8 a.m. And at 10 a.m., the INEC officials are not there. 11 a.m., people are yet to vote. At 12 noon, you're still telling people...
Am I holding brief for INEC if I tell you that state by state, the INEC will send materials to the REC?
Yeah, which is still an INEC man.
So, yes, the REC represents INEC at the state level.
Yes.
So distributing the materials no longer belongs to INEC at Abuja, if you see what I mean.
No, but INEC is INEC. INEC regionally and INEC.
Even at the polling units, you have INEC officials, and they are all answerable to the chairman. So INEC in this context doesn't mean the INEC at Abuja, but INEC as an overall institution.
Okay, no
so
problem.
They've not done an outstanding job in their own area. So there are other factors militating against free and fair election in Nigeria.
All right, but Ofele, the INEC in its wisdom determined that deploying university dons to the process would help it.
Yes.
But we know that many university dons have become compromised.
Yes,
it's still INEC.
Yes.
No, hold on.
No,
that may not be INEC.
Okay.
We attribute that to the attitudinal problem we talked about. Because the assumption is that if you're a professor, you have certain level of fidelity by assumption that you, by virtue of your studies or by virtue of your training, you must have been eviscerated from the banalities of antiquity. So you are pure, you have resilience. That is the assumption. But our country, and the human element in this country seems to have defied that. No matter how intelligent people are and trained, they still put their hands in evil.
In palm oil.
Yeah, they put their hands there and they take whatever is there for themselves. Okay? INEC have done well by projecting the Electoral Act, by using university done, by organizing the process. I think the area where INEC is failing, which is rubbing off on all the good they have done, is on logistics. And they are not giving it attention. Logistics, the last time one of their commissioner said that the drivers they employed to take materials, sensitive materials to places, said they will not go until they are paid fully. And that INEC didn't have the full money because of the cash crunch. So that was the excuse. Now, this seems to have eased up. Okay, today, now that as at 10 o'clock, we're still getting some reporters were still saying INEC have not started, like in First Act Town, they've not seen INEC, they've not seen INEC. So that one now, what is the problem? Because the INEC office is very close to that location.
Yeah.
So is that one also logistical problem, or is it economic sabotage? Is it just, are they just willing to frustrate the system? Because if the people come out to vote, INEC should be there. We are complaining that the last election we had 27% of registered voters came out to cast their, but that is in the presidential. I doubt if this one will be up to 25% because it seems to be dwindling, and people are losing faith in what INEC is doing.
Okay. Gentlemen, let me take us to Switzerland in a manner of speaking. Gabriel, I dare think he's a Nigerian. He's interested in what's going on here. Gabriel, is it good afternoon?
Yeah, good afternoon. Actually, with what we are seeing and with what we are looking, Sanwo-Olu will retain Lagos State. Because if you look at it very well, the people who are
Gabriel, you are not announcing results, are you?
No, I'm not announcing results. I'm just saying that it looks more like Sanwo-Olu will retain his seat because the people who are contesting with him are only talking about intimidation, low turnout, they are scattering their voting unit, nobody's voting for them, nobody's doing anything for them, they are ready to go to court. Voting is going on. Those contesting against the sitting governor are already talking about court. So it tells you that they've lost faith in the day already. So I think that the Lagos State governor will retain his seat. That is my opinion. I'm looking at it from international perspective.
All right.
I think the governor will retain his seat because you will not want to give the seat to somebody who is thinking of going to court already instead of winning the election.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay, okay. He says he's looking at it from the global perspective.
But in global perspective, do they announce the result before the election is concluded?
The man is a concerned Nigerian, Ofeli. I allow him. Maybe not concerned Lagosian. Okay?
No, INEC has, the problem is, keeps repeating, logistics. One newspaper, I don't remember the exact newspaper, said, foreign newspaper said INEC made intentional and unintentional mistakes. If they make only unintentional mistakes, we might be ready, more prepared to forgive INEC. But when they make intentional mistakes, then that's where the question mark arises. Why would you deliberately make mistakes? There are a number of factors militating against INEC, thuggery and all that. I think it was Obafemi Awolowo that once said that all the children of the poor, I'm not quoting, I'm paraphrasing, the children of the poor you refuse to educate today will in future start causing problems for you. So when the society, that's why in some countries of the world, the rich pay a lot of tax, and these taxes are used sometimes to give some subventions to the poor, sometimes to make education free, because in the end, it benefits everybody.
Everyone,
When people are uneducated, when people are hungry, you have a time bomb.
Rationality goes away.
Exactly, you have a time bomb in your hands. So those that are being given incentives to go cause trouble, shoot at people, carry away the ballot boxes, if they are in a better position, if they have something going for them, if they are educated, and like the young man said, my income the trajectory of my income is upwards. And if the trajectory of your income is upwards,
the man is comfortable.
Yeah, he's comfortable.
He can afford to tell you that.
Out there, causing the society this problem. So there are a number of things that we need to put in place before democracy can take root, before democracy can be established, fully established in Nigeria.
Okay, just gone 22 minutes past 1 in the city of Lagos, as indeed around the country, and from the Nigeria Decide studio of the VOP TV here in Lagos, Nigeria. I desire to open the telephone line one more time, 0700 903 903 903. Let's get you to report on the governorship assembly elections in Lagos and around the country. Tochukwu, I hear a call has come in from Isolo, and the caller is a gentleman named Silas. Silas, good afternoon, welcome.
Yes, sir. This is my third time of calling today.
Good, welcome.
Yes, they finally came around after 11. And yes, as they came, the people started saying that they want to relocate, they want to locate the going to another place. So we insisted and they did not do that. But they did not allow people to vote. They're like about not less than.
I'm sorry. Silas, let me get that again. They are not allowing people to vote.
They are not allowing people that are not going to vote for any people. They even stay on the line talking about voting.
Who are they?
Boys now, from South.
Okay.
They said if you are not voting for APC, you go back to your house. And
how do they know who you want to vote for?
How do they know you are voting?
Number one, they said if you are Igbo person, the one they came voting, if you ain't got person, leave the line, go home. Don't come and APC on the line, don't go voting. And if you're not voting for APC, the thing with Scotland is scaling. Boston, just beating people, even entering inside the compass.
All right. Yeah, but Silas, have you voted?
Yeah, I was able to vote before I started, so I voted. I voted for other people. If you go to polling, the only thing you see them is Yoruba people. People that are voting for APC.
Okay. Thank you very kindly.
That's the issue. We have sent everybody. But I even threatened that they will come back in the night to even keep us in our state.
All right.
075, 070, 077, 078, 073, 071, 072. But all the things around here, they are just going from point to point.
Okay. Thank you, Silas. Thank you. Tochuku, so it's still the same.
The same pattern, the same story. The same,
but in places here and there,
different parts of Lagos.
I told Ufeli when we had our break, we cannot tell what is going on around the country.
No, we don't know.
In your Anambra, in my Akwa Ibom, and in his Delta. In their Kano, in their Borno or Yobe states?
Well, they are parts of Nigeria, and similar things will be going on at varying degrees. They may not be as brazen in parts of, as they are in parts of Lagos, but there will still be attempt one way or the other to muzzle out the opposition, to retain as many seats as possible, to get re-elected as a governor, or to get your protege become the governor. So I think it will all be similar.
All right, let's go now to Ejigbo. Felix is waiting. Felix, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. What can you tell me?
In our area here in Ejigbo, the talk, APC talk here, they did not allow we people to vote.
You
can.
That
once you are an Igbo person, you will not go there. Even in Orilowo school there,